رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي من أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني ليفقهوا قولي. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. صدق الله العظيم. So, this video is about the invention of nuclear fusion. And I don't want to make the video too complicated. All I'm going to say is they solved nuclear fusion with fractal Gauss field theory. And I know exactly how they did it, and I've always known how to do it for decades. And they possibly also themselves learned how to do it by recording my phone conversation. So this is an important issue that people should pay attention to, because when what's his name, Snowden, revealed to everybody that all the phone conversations are always recorded everywhere in the world, and then people were afraid that they're gonna steal our inventions, they're gonna steal our this, they're gonna do that, blah blah blah. But that's this is that kind of story. So they actually stole the idea from me talking to people I was teaching. But the whole message of it is that possibly the people who tried to delete me at the end of 2023 and enabled the Israel Gaza BS, uh, they were involved. Because what I figured out is since me and the people I know who are secret, people know that I know them very well, that they hang out with me all the time. But they're secret for the most part, and I don't even hang out with them for a long time just to keep it secret lately. But they can witness about how they told me about it, and they're also gonna try to say that it was their invention, but it wasn't. I just didn't want to reveal everything to them to see how much they can figure out. So I give him the qualities of the science and see what he can figure out. So basically, he comes up to me and says, if you make your electric wires out of this stuff, you can carry more energy and waste less. And he figured that out from his electro engineer uncle. But I just wanted to see what he would figure out. But he finally figured it out. I said, "Oh yeah, great. That's how you do nuclear fusion. So you get the wire can hold a lot more electricity. It can run a lot more electricity and waste less. And then you use these forms to make the capacitors. So you maximize the surface area, right? And inside you minimize magnetic fields. So this is important for the capacitors to maximize the amount of electricity they put out. So that was another thing needed to enable nuclear fusion. And then you also make the fractal gear structure with this here, all the way around, like the magnetic field structure, the toroidal magnetic field that holds the deuterium water that's gonna get nuclear fused and everything. It spins around in there, and there's a magnetic field that holds it because it can't touch the walls. And the main problem they had before, they always said they couldn't get the magnetic field strong enough. It kept burning up the walls. So you just make the magnetic field around there just like this, and then uh, what you do by that is you increase the magnetic field inside. So you increase the magnetic field on this side, decrease it on this side. So therefore, it doesn't affect the electronics and the other stuff. So it directs the magnetic field in one place. So basically, since I knew it and it was obvious, and people I was teaching knew it and it was obvious for decades, they can't really patent it. So that may be why they wanted me to be gone off the earth, because They want to control all energy all over the world. So if nuclear fusion comes out, they want to be able to own it, and that's why nuclear fusion in the past has been solved by scientists, and they've been totally deleted off the face of the earth, and all their stuff has been taken and probably completely destroyed because they probably are too scared to let anybody see it because then it could spread. So anyway, I took every path the correct way to defeat suppression. So basically, I created a wealth greater than the value of the whole United States, but I gave it all away for free just so it could spread. So if I were to try to be greedy about it and just try to get paid, try to get whatever, I would get sucked into a scam again and get really messed up, and it would be a mess. If I were to try to make money off of things they insist on suppressing. And this what this reveals to the whole world is that climate crisis, which is actually gonna supposedly kill all human beings in only 10 years from now. Uh, Climate crisis was caused by human greed. So we've had the solution to stop climate crisis. And people who don't understand science very well, they might say, what's the difference between nuclear fusion and nuclear fission? So what we have now is nuclear fission. Nuclear fission is where you take a molecule and you smash them together, and a bunch of stuff comes out, and from that you get energy. But nuclear fusion is where you take a molecule and you smash them together and they join, and then they release a little bit of energy, some electrons, and it uses deuterium, which is water. So it outputs water. So it's the most clean. It's absolutely completely clean nuclear energy for the whole entire world. And this is what enables going to Mars. This is what enables going traveling through space and going here, going there, because people don't understand how much energy is actually in water. Like if this thing here was a can of water, Stanley Myers invented a car, and he was murdered by NATO in 1998, and that's according to his brother who was with him at the time, and based on what Stanley Myers actually said. So he created a car that runs on water. He was trying to end fuel. And so this much water could take him from New York to California and California and back. Just this much water. Do you see how much energy is in water? You just don't realize how much energy is in water. And then the great thing about nuclear fusion is you take water, you output water. You take in heavy water, which is called deuterium. You collide them together. And then they become water, and then they release some energy, and then some water as well. So it's super clean. But with nuclear fission, they sound alike. Fission and fusion kind of sound alike, but they're totally different. So nuclear fission, a lot of people don't understand, is not a thing that really humans can handle. So you have nuclear fission disasters in Russia, which is a 100,000 year problem, and the place where it happened, nobody should go live there ever, and they have to bury it with what's called like a tomb, a concrete tomb, and then also underground too. So they have to like cover it all around because the radiation in there is so high. It gets in the dirt, and then it stays in there forever. That stuff just stays there forever. And then also in Japan, Fukushima or whatever, I think it was called Fukushima. There was a tsunami that collapsed one of their nuclear fission uh, energy systems, and the people in Japan basically say the whole of Japan is ruined now. So a lot of people are talking about moving, but Japan was really smart, and they developed a bunch of new technologies to deal with something like that. So they did save it, but if it wasn't Japan, it was another nation that wasn't as technologically able. Japan would be over. Nobody would live there anymore. It'd be done. for like 100,000 years. And then not only that, Japan would poison Australia. It would poison parts of China. It would poison parts of like Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, all those nations that are near it, because it gets in the water and it travels, and then it sits in their, it gets to their land, and then it also poisons the fish. So, like Japan had this crisis. Somebody in Australia goes catches a fish and eats it. He gets cancer and dies. That's the problem. So, nuclear fusion, for everyone to understand how valuable and how important it is. All the scientists who have analyzed the development of it have said, they all unanimously said this. It almost sounds like they just are repeating each other. But they said it's the single most valuable and most useful invention that humanity has ever produced. So basically, this solves climate change all by itself. And this ends oil. We don't need oil anymore. And then further technology for fractal gear field theory, you got free energy systems, you got anti-gravity systems, you got all these things. This world has been completely fixed. If people just listen to what I'm saying here, the science I brought has fixed everything, solved every problem. The one I'm really proud of is making these into tracks on the on mountains. This is, I have my own interests. They're just different than other people's interests. And so you use these to make chain tracks, like train tracks, like a bunch of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like a bunch of them, and it's a track that goes up the mountain. So you have like 1, 2, 3 rows or something, or 4 rows, in case one of the track breaks, you don't fall and die, right? And then you also, on the vehicle that you ride up on, you have wheels that are like this. And why I love this so much, because I was in Indonesia, I was in parts of Asia, and I've seen all these mountains, and I said, it's so beautiful. I wonder why nobody lives there. And then they all look at me like, are you stupid? It's impossible to live there. Nobody could go up there, and then if you went up there, you wouldn't be able to come down and get none. You'd have to just be stuck up there all the time, and you have to catch birds and eat snakes and whatever. So, like, nobody lives on the mountains because it's impossible. And then I also thought about how that would solve climate crisis, and that would solve a lot for humans, and that we could plant on mountains, which would be great, because a flat surface is not really the best surface to plant on. You want like a mountain, or if it was like a sphere or something, but you want something that's up high like this, because it has more surface area contact with the sun, so you get more sun in a smaller space. So like if you have this much land, as much as my hand, right? And let's say you can grow like a ton of, like 1,000, like 1,000 tons of corn or something, right? So in this space, as a mountain, you can grow 10,000 tons of corn. It's beautiful. To me, that's beautiful. Like, I always stick on the most awesome solutions, and the ones I can do right away. Like, of course I could have did nuclear fusion, but where are the people to come and tell me? I told them I could have built it right away. We could have had it 20 years ago. And further things about nuclear fusion is that they solved it November 22nd at 10 p.m., which is exactly my birthday. My exact birthday. Not my legal birthday. Keep that in mind. So this is kind of the weird thing, is like, it's almost like when they did it, they're like, we know that you know. We know that you know. So that's why they did it on my birthday and my birth time. Which the funny thing is, also doing it that way just reveals that they know everything you say on the phone. Almost as if they're admitting to having taken the idea right off the phone. The reason why is because nobody knows that birthday for me except my dad and me. And my family would always keep a secret. They wouldn't tell anybody. They wouldn't tell me. They wouldn't tell you. They won't tell anybody. Only one of my righteous uncles revealed it to me, because he just doesn't lie. He's not a liar, so he just revealed it. And then he told me why my whole family keeps it secret. Because being born on a Friday, on a Friday at Fajr time. Fajr time is the time right before the sun rises and it's clear. So when you can see the sun, right? So it starts like an hour or two before the sun just starts and rises, like an hour or two. Uh, it's kind of hard to explain how you solve it. Ask an Islamic scholar how you solve it. But Fajr time. So whoever's born at on Friday at Fajr is foretold by the Prophet Muhammad as a very important person for you. That birth is just a revelation to you that he's a very important person to you. And so he said, do not harm him or her. Do not talk bad about him or her. And always do everything you can to support them because that person is very valuable to you. So that's just that's what the Prophet Muhammad said, and just the fact that I brought factor field theory and I was born at that time validates that God is real, because Friday is his favorite day, and Fajr time is his favorite time, and we also know that the first angel, who was Gabriel, was created on a Friday, I believe at Fajr as well, and the first human, who was Adam, was also created on a Friday, possibly Fajr as well. And the universe itself was born on a Friday, possibly Fajr as well. I don't know the exact times. You can ask a scholar of that history, but Friday is a significant day. And for people who question about this, doctors write a lot of books about why no babies are born at that day and time. Because they realized it. They noticed it. There's almost no babies born on Friday at Fajr. That's strange to them because babies are born a lot, all the time, at random times. But why not this day and not this time? How come nobody's ever born? They got all the data. They can look back 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Nobody's ever born on a Friday at Fajr. Ever. So that's the point of that is I always knew how to do nuclear fusion. And so they can't patent it as long as I'm alive. And so the people who solve nuclear fusion and are trying to make money from it are possibly connected to the people who've been trying to do character and life assassination on me. They just don't want somebody like to be able to say that. Like let's say I posted it on social media, but they've manipulated social media. They've made social media so that you can't use it in legal cases. That's why they keep trying to tell Mr. Julian Assange, no, Mr. Elon Musk. They're trying to tell Elon Musk not to make X so free speech and everything perfect and whatever. It's because of that. And then, for example, Facebook made it so you can change any date on any post. So I made a joke about that. I posted one post and said, I posted this before I was born. And then I dated it like 1970 or something. And then I talked a little bit about it. I said, this hurts a lot of people's legal cases who think they could use stuff they put on social media. So, and luckily that X and before it was Twitter, luckily they never did those kind of things. So what I did is I used to have like all my social media automatically post. Whatever I post on any social media automatically posts on X. So that like if for example like a Facebook case or like a case comes and I say Facebook, here's Facebook, I posted it right here, they'll say no because of the dates. I'll say, oh yeah, well I shared it also on X, and X doesn't mess with the dates. And I shared it also on this open source thing. They don't mess with the dates. So, like, you don't want to use Facebook. I got a lot of other stuff. My life is just a bunch of games just to take care of you guys. It's not even about surviving. I have to survive to achieve this, but it's to take care of the earth. I feel like as humans, a lot of people don't understand the Islamic faith that we're obligated to take care of the earth and take care of other humans. We're completely obligated to do that.